Namaste from Kathmandu, Nepal. Welcome to the part 2 of this 3-part meditation series. If you missed the part 1, I will just link it down in the description below. You can just go and check it out. Just make sure that you watch it before you dive into this video. So wherever we left it, let's continue, shall we? So let's briefly summarize the first video. You find a comfortable seat, focus on the breath as the abdomen rises and falls, leveling it as you inhale and exhale. Now, a lot of people feel, and my previous self included, that meditation means emptying your mind completely, not having any thoughts at all. What I was enlightened to learn in these forms of meditation, you aren't trying to stop the thoughts from coming in, but rather you are just observing them. So let's say you are mindful of your breathing, leveling it as we did before, rising, 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 falling, falling, falling. But suddenly a sensation snaps you out of the mindfulness of breathing. The sensation might be hearing a car driving by, smelling food being cooked in the kitchen, feeling your leg go numb, or maybe you can see in your mind an image of a tropical beach wherever of your sense is being called on. Simply level it. So you might level it listening, smelling, feeling, or seeing. By leveling it, become aware of it, you acknowledge it, you observe it for what it is without allowing yourself to go into deeper thoughts. So we aren't thinking, oh, I smell something, I wonder what he's making for dinner. Did he remember to use all the carrots? Maybe I should go check. No, this is not observing. This is actively thinking. So instead we just level it for what it is and continue to level it without letting your thoughts wander mindlessly. When you do this, you will see that the sensation will pass, and when it does, we bring the focus back to the breath, rising and falling. Oh, and now you suddenly hear something. But don't explore it, just observe it and level it, listening, listening, listening. Or you might even call this hearing, hearing, hearing. It does not matter what you called it, so long as it makes sense to you. Observe it, then let it go and return to the breath. Now, what happens when a thought enters into the mind? Not just a sensation, but a thoughts. Maybe you were thinking about something that happened in the past, like a mistake you made earlier in the day, or it might be your mind is wandering to the future, thinking about what you are going to be making for dinner later, or maybe your mind is wandering to an imaginary world where you have just won the lottery. Whatever it is, just as we did before, we are gonna become aware of it and level it. So let's say we are focused on the breath, rising and falling, and suddenly we remember a silly thing that we did earlier in the day that really embarrassed us. Instead of delivering deeper into these feelings and feeling even more foolish for what we did, we just level the experience, instead remembering. Continue to repeat this until we became mindful of the fact that it's just a thought. We don't judge the thoughts, we don't level the thoughts as good or bad or try to make sense of the thoughts. We just observe it in a detached manner. After a few seconds or a moment of labeling, the thoughts will pass, which again allows us to bring the attention back to the rising and falling of the abdomen. If the thought is of something that might happen in the future, you can simply level it, planning, or if it's something you are daydreaming about, perhaps you can level it, imagining. Now, this meditation allows us to empty the mind of plans and memories. It allows the thoughts to flow away. As they do so, we can focus on the rising and falling moment happening right now, because all we are really got is the now, in the moment where you are aware of only the breath. You allow the mind to be still, allowing it to rest in those spaces. In a way, this is how we empty the mind, not by actively willing it to be emptied, but rather by becoming aware of the breath, honoring the passing sensations and thoughts, letting them go, and then returning to the breath. Alright, so in this video we have learned the basic seated position, and also we have learned what to do if some certain thought arises, some emotion comes into your mind. Simply observe them without judgment. But the question is now, what if your legs start to fall asleep, or your hair comes into your nose? Will you just tickle your hair from your nose, or will you just stand your leg and move it out? That is what we are going to learn in our third and final video. So stay tuned for the next video. On that note, I would like to wrap up for today by saying, as my teacher always used to say, Metta always. Metta means loving the kindness, directing the love towards other people. So let's do it together. Are you ready? Alright, so Metta always. Wait, I forgot to say that. Please, if you like my video, like, share and subscribe to my channel. And Metta always.